Jump to content. Main menu. Main menu. Move to sidebar hide. Navigation. Main page. Contents. Current events. Random article. About Wikipedia. Contact us. Contribute. Help. Learn to edit. Community portal. Recent changes. Upload file. Search. Search. Appearance. Donate. Create account. Login. Personal tools. Donate. Create account. Login. Pages for logged out editors. Learn more. Contributions. Talk. Contents. Move to sidebar hide. Top 1. History. 2. Relationship to other fields of psychology and biology. 3. Research methods. Toggle research methods subsection. 3.1 Disabling or decreasing neural function. 3.2 Enhancing neural function. 3.3 Measuring neural activity. 3.4 Genetic techniques. 3.5 Quantifying behavior. 4 Other research methods. Toggle other research methods subsection. 4.1 Limitations and advantages. 5 Topic areas. 6 Research on topic areas. Toggle research on topic areas subsection. 6.1 Cognition. 7 Awards. 8 See also. 9 References. 10 External links. Toggle the table of contents. Behavioral neuroscience. 31 languages. Català. Etina. Deutsch. Espanol. Esperanto. Francese. Gaelge. Ravatsky. Bahasa Indonesia. Alinska. Italiano. Netherlands. Norsk Bokmål. Polski. Portuguese. Slovenina. Slovenina. /Srpski. Suomi. Svenska. Turks. Edit links. Article. Talk. English. Read. Edit. View history. Tools. Tools. Move to sidebar hide. Actions. Read. Edit. View history. General. What links here? Related changes. Upload file. Special pages. Permanent link. Page information. Cite this page. Get shortened URL. Download QR code. Print/export. Download as PDF. Printable version. In other projects. Wikimedia Commons. Wikidata item. Appearance. Move to sidebar hide. From Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. Study of biological and neural mechanism in behavior. Biological psychology redirects here. For the journals, see Behavioral Neuroscience, Journal, Biological Psychology, Journal, and Cognitive, Affective, and Behavioral Neuroscience. For related topics, see Affective Neuroscience, Behavioral Neurology, Cognitive Neuroscience, Neuropsychiatry, Neuropsychology, and Social Neuroscience. Part of a series on psychology. Outline. History. Subfields. Basic psychology. Abnormal. Affective neuroscience. Affective science. Behavioral genetics. Behavioral neuroscience. Behaviorism. Cognitive/cognitivism. Cognitive neuroscience. social, comparative, cross-cultural, cultural, developmental, differential, ecological, evolutionary, experimental, gestalt, intelligence, mathematical, moral, neuropsychology, perception, personality, psycholinguistics, psychophysiology, quantitative, social, theoretical, applied psychology, anomalistic, applied behavior analysis, assessment, clinical, coaching, community, consumer, counseling, critical, educational, ergonomics, feminist, forensic, health, humanistic, industrial and organizational, legal, media, medical, military, music, occupational health, pastoral, political, positive, psychometrics, psychotherapy, religion, school, sport and exercise, suicidology, systems, traffic, concepts, behavior, behavioral engineering, behavioral genetics, behavioral neuroscience, cognition, competence, consciousness, consumer behavior, emotions, feelings, human factors and ergonomics, intelligence, mind, psychology of religion, psychometrics, terror management theory, lists, counseling topics, disciplines, organizations, outline, psychologists, psychotherapies, research methods, schools of thought, timeline, topics, psychology portal, V.T. E. Behavioral neuroscience, also known as biological psychology, 1. Biopsychology, or psychobiology, 2, is part of the broad, interdisciplinary field of neuroscience, with its primary focus being on the biological and neural mechanisms underlying behavior. Cognitive neuroscience is similar to behavioral neuroscience, in that both fields study the neurobiological functions related to psychology, as in experiences and behaviors. Behavioral neuroscientists examine the biological basis of behavior through research that involves neuroanatomical substrates, environmental and genetic factors, effects of lesions and electrical stimulation, developmental processes, recording electrical activity, neurotransmitters, hormonal influences, chemical components, and the effects of drugs. Important topics of consideration for neuroscientific research in behavior include learning and memory, sensory processes, motivation and emotion, as well as genetic and molecular substrates concerning the biological basis of behavior. 3. History. Edit. Behavioral neuroscience as a scientific discipline emerged from a variety of scientific and philosophical traditions in the 18th and 19th centuries. René Descartes proposed physical models to explain animal as well as human behavior. Descartes suggested that the pineal gland, a midline unpaired structure in the brain of many organisms, was the point of contact between mind and body. Descartes also elaborated on a theory in which the pneumatics of bodily fluids could explain reflexes and other motor behavior. This theory was inspired by moving statues in a garden in Paris. 4. Other philosophers also helped give birth to psychology. One of the earliest textbooks in the new field, The Principles of Psychology by William James, argues that the scientific study of psychology should be grounded in an understanding of biology. 5. 1907 Image of a brain. The emergence of psychology and behavioral neuroscience as legitimate sciences can be traced from the emergence of physiology from anatomy, particularly neuroanatomy. Physiologists conducted experiments on living organisms, a practice that was distrusted by the dominant anatomists of the 18th and 19th centuries. The influential work of Claude Bernard, Charles Bell, and William Harvey helped to convince the scientific community that reliable data could be obtained from living subjects. 6. Even before the 18th and 19th centuries, behavioral neuroscience was beginning to take form as far back as 1700 BC. 7. The question that seems to continually arise is, what is the connection between the mind and body? The debate is formally referred to as the mind-body problem. There are two major schools of thought that attempt to resolve the mind-body problem, monism and dualism. 4. Plato and Aristotle are two of several philosophers who participated in this debate. Plato believed that the brain was where all mental thought and processes happened. 7. In contrast, Aristotle believed the brain served the purpose of cooling down the emotions derived from the heart. 4. The mind-body problem was a stepping stone toward attempting to understand the connection between the mind and body. William James. Another debate arose about localization of function or functional specialization versus equipotentiality, which played a significant role in the development in behavioral neuroscience. As a result of localization of function research, many famous people found within psychology have come to various different conclusions. Wilder Penfield was able to develop a map of the cerebral cortex through studying epileptic patients along with Rasmussen. 4. Research on localization of function has led behavioral neuroscientists to a better understanding of which parts of the brain control behavior. This is best exemplified through the case study of Finer's gauge. The term psychobiology has been used in a variety of contexts, emphasizing the importance of biology, which is the discipline that studies organic, neural and cellular modifications in behavior, plasticity in neuroscience, and biological diseases in all aspects. In addition, biology focuses and analyzes behavior and all the subjects it is concerned about, from a scientific point of view. In this context, psychology helps as a complementary, but important discipline in the neurobiological sciences. The role of psychology in these questions is that of a social tool that backs up the main or strongest biological science. The term psychobiology was first used in its modern sense by Knight Dunlap in his book An Outline of Psychobiology, 1914. 8. Dunlap also was the founder and editor-in-chief of the journal Psychobiology. In the announcement of that journal, Dunlap writes that the journal will publish research bearing on the interconnection of mental and physiological functions, which describes the field of behavioral neuroscience even in its modern sense. 8. Neuropsychology. Topics: Brain regions, clinical neuropsychology, cognitive neuropsychology, cognitive neuroscience, dementia, human brain, neuroanatomy, neurophysiology, neuropsychological assessment, neuropsychological rehabilitation, traumatic brain injury, brain functions, arousal, attention, consciousness, decision-making, executive functions, natural language, learning, memory, motor coordination, perception, planning, problem solving, thought. People. Alan Baddeley. Arthur L. Benton, David Bohm, Antonio Damasio, Finer's gauge, Norman Geschwind, Elkhonen Goldberg, Patricia Goldman-Rakic, Donald O. Hebb, Kenneth Haleman, Eric Kandel, Edith Kaplan, Muriel Lizak, Benjamin Libe, Rodolfo Linus, Alexander Luria, Brenda Milner, Carl H. Pribram, Pasco Rakic, Oliver Sacks, Mark Rosenzweig, Roger W. Sperry, Hans Lucas Tuber, Henry Molezen, H.M., patient. Casey, patient. Tests. Benton Visual Retention Test. Continuous Performance Task. Halstead-Rieton Neuropsychological Battery. Haling and Brixton Tests. Lexical Decision Task. Illyria, Nebraska Neuropsychological Battery. Mini Mental State Examination. Re-Osteriath Complex Figure. Stroop Test. Wechsler Adult Intelligence Scale. Wechsler Memory Scale. Wisconsin Card Sorting Task. Psychology Portal. Philosophy Portal. Medicine Portal. V. T. E. Relationship to other fields of psychology and biology. Edit. In many cases, humans may serve as experimental subjects in behavioral neuroscience experiments. However, a great deal of the experimental literature in behavioral neuroscience comes from the study of non-human species, most frequently rats, mice, and monkeys. As a result, a critical assumption in behavioral neuroscience is that organisms share biological and behavioral similarities, enough to permit extrapolations across species. This allies behavioral neuroscience closely with comparative psychology, ethology, evolutionary biology, and neurobiology. Behavioral neuroscience also has paradigmatic and methodological similarities to neuropsychology, which relies heavily on the study of the behavior of humans with nervous system dysfunction, i.e., a non-experimentally based biological manipulation. Synonyms for behavioral neuroscience include biopsychology, biological psychology, and psychobiology. 9. Physiological psychology is a subfield of behavioral neuroscience, with an appropriately narrower definition. Research methods. Edit. The distinguishing characteristic of a behavioral neuroscience experiment is that either the independent variable of the experiment is biological, or some dependent variable is biological. In other words, the nervous system of the organism under study is permanently or temporarily altered, or some aspect of the nervous system is measured, usually to be related to a behavioral variable. Disabling or decreasing neural function. Edit. Lesions, a classic method in which a brain region of interest is naturally or intentionally destroyed to observe any resulting changes such as degraded or enhanced performance on some behavioral measure. Lesions can be placed with relatively high accuracy thanks to a variety of brain atlases which provide a map of brain regions in three-dimensional stereotactic coordinates. The part of the picture emphasized shows the lesion in the brain. This type of lesion can be removed through surgery. Surgical lesions, neural tissue is destroyed by removing it surgically. Electrolytic lesions, neural tissue is destroyed through the application of electrical shock trauma. Chemical lesions, neural tissue is destroyed by the infusion of a neurotoxin. Temporary lesions, neural tissue is temporarily disabled by cooling or by the use of anesthetics such as tetrodotoxin. Transcranial magnetic stimulation, a new technique usually used with human subjects in which a magnetic coil applied to the scalp causes unsystematic electrical activity in nearby cortical neurons which can be experimentally analyzed as a functional lesion. Synthetic ligand injection: a receptor activated solely by a synthetic ligand, RASL, or designer receptor exclusively activated by designer drugs, DRED, permits spatial and temporal control of G-protein signaling in vivo. These systems utilize G-protein coupled receptors, GPCR, engineered to respond exclusively to synthetic small molecules ligands, like clothapine N oxide, CNO, and not to their natural ligand, S. RASLs represent a GPCR-based chemogenetic tool. These synthetic ligands upon activation can decrease neural function by G-protein activation. This can with potassium attenuating neural activity. 10. Optogenetic inhibition: a light-activated inhibitory protein is expressed in cells of interest. Powerful millisecond timescale neuronal inhibition is instigated upon stimulation by the appropriate frequency of light delivered via fiber optics or implanted LEDs in the case of vertebrates, 11, or via external illumination for small, sufficiently translucent invertebrates. 12. Bacterial halorhodopsins or proton pumps are the two classes of proteins used for inhibitory optogenetics, achieving inhibition by increasing cytoplasmic levels of halides, Cl, or decreasing the cytoplasmic concentration of protons, respectively. 13, 14. Enhancing neural function. Edit. Electrical stimulation: a classic method in which neural activity is enhanced by application of a small electric current, too small to cause significant cell death. Psychopharmacological manipulations: a chemical receptor antagonist induces neural activity by interfering with neurotransmission. Antagonists can be delivered systemically, such as by intravenous injection, or locally, intracerebrally, during a surgical procedure into the ventricles or into specific brain structures. For example, an NMDA antagonist AP5 has been shown to inhibit the initiation of long-term potentiation of excitatory synaptic transmission, in rodent fear conditioning, which is believed to be a vital mechanism in learning and memory. 15. Synthetic ligand injection: likewise, GQ-DREDs can be used to modulate cellular function by innervation of brain regions such as hippocampus. This innervation results in the amplification of rhythms, which increases motor activity. 16. Transcranial magnetic stimulation: in some cases, for example, studies of motor cortex, this technique can be analyzed as having a stimulatory effect, rather than as a functional lesion. Optogenetic excitation: a light-activated excitatory protein is expressed in select cells. Channel rhodopsin 2, CHR2, a light-activated cation channel, was the first bacterial opsin shown to excite neurons in response to light. 17, though a number of new excitatory optogenetic tools have now been generated by improving and imparting novel properties to CHR2. 18. Measuring neural activity. Edit. Optical techniques: optical methods for recording neuronal activity rely on methods that modify the optical properties of neurons in response to the cellular events associated with action potentials or neurotransmitter release. Voltage-sensitive dyes, VSDs, were among the earliest method for optically detecting neuronal activity. VSDs commonly changed their fluorescent properties in response to a voltage change across the neuron's membrane, rendering membrane subthreshold and suprathreshold action potentials, electrical activity detectable. 19. Genetically encoded voltage-sensitive fluorescent proteins have also been developed. 20. Calcium imaging relies on dyes, 21, or genetically encoded proteins, 22, that fluoresce upon binding to the calcium that is transiently present during an action potential. Synaptofluorin is a technique that relies on a fusion protein that combines a synaptic vesicle membrane protein and a pH-sensitive fluorescent protein. Upon synaptic vesicle release, the chimeric protein is exposed to the higher pH of the synaptic cleft, causing a measurable change in fluorescence. 23. Single unit recording, a method whereby an electrode is introduced into the brain of a living animal to detect electrical activity that is generated by the neurons adjacent to the electrode tip. Normally this is performed with sedated animals, but sometimes it is performed on awake animals engaged in a behavioral event, such as a thirsty rat whisking a particular sandpaper grade previously paired with water in order to measure the corresponding patterns of neuronal firing at the decision point. 24. Multi-electrode recording, the use of a bundle of fine electrodes to record the simultaneous activity of up to hundreds of neurons. Functional magnetic resonance imaging fMRI, a technique most frequently applied on human subjects, in which changes in cerebral blood flow can be detected in an MRI apparatus and are taken to indicate relative activity of larger scale brain regions, i.e., on the order of hundreds of thousands of neurons. PET brain scans can show chemical differences in the brain between addicts and non-addicts. The normal images in the bottom row come from non-addicts, while people with addictions have scans that look more abnormal. Positron emission tomography. PET detects particles called photons using a 3D nuclear medicine examination. These particles are emitted by injections of radioisotopes such as fluorine. PET imaging reveal the pathological processes which predict anatomic changes, making it important for detecting, diagnosing and characterizing many pathologies. 25. Electroencephalography (EEG), and the derivative technique of event-related potentials, in which scalp electrodes monitor the average activity of neurons in the cortex, again, used most frequently with human subjects. This technique uses different types of electrodes for recording systems such as needle electrodes and saline-based electrodes. EEG allows for the investigation of mental disorders, sleep disorders and physiology. It can monitor brain development and cognitive engagement. 26. Functional neuroanatomy, a more complex counterpart of phrenology. The expression of some anatomical marker is taken to reflect neural activity. For example, the expression of immediate early genes is thought to be caused by vigorous neural activity. Likewise, the injection of 2-deoxyglucose prior to some behavioral task can be followed by anatomical localization of that chemical. It is taken up by neurons that are electrically active. Magnetoencephalography MEG shows the functioning of the human brain through the measurement of electromagnetic activity. Measuring the magnetic fields created by the electric current flowing within the neurons identifies brain activity associated with various human functions in real time, with millimeter spatial accuracy. Clinicians can non-invasively obtain data to help them assess neurological disorders and plan surgical treatments. Genetic techniques. Edit. QTL mapping. The influence of a gene in some behavior can be statistically inferred by studying inbred strains of some species, most commonly mice. The recent sequencing of the genome of many species, most notably mice, has facilitated this technique. Selective breeding organisms, often mice, may be bred selectively among inbred strains to create a recombinant congenic strain. This might be done to isolate an experimentally interesting stretch of DNA derived from one strain on the background genome of another strain to allow stronger inferences about the role of that stretch of DNA. Genetic engineering. The genome may also be experimentally manipulated. For example, knockout mice can be engineered to lack a particular gene, or a gene may be expressed in a strain which does not normally do so, the transgenic. Advanced techniques may also permit the expression or suppression of a gene to occur by injection of some regulating chemical. Quantifying behavior. Edit. Fruit fly, Drosophila melanogaster, leg joints being tracked in 3D with anapose. 27. Markerless pose estimation. The advancement of computer vision techniques in recent years have allowed for precise quantifications of animal movements without needing to fit physical markers onto the subject. On high-speed video captured in a behavioral assay, key points from the subject can be extracted frame by frame. 28, which is often useful to analyze in tandem with neural recordings / manipulations. Analyses can be conducted on how key points, i.e. parts of the animal, move within different phases of a particular behavior, on a short timescale, 29, or throughout an animal's behavioral repertoire, longer timescale. 30. These key point changes can be compared with corresponding changes in neural activity. A machine learning approach can also be used to identify specific behaviors, for example forward walking, turning, grooming, courtship, etc., and quantify the dynamics of transitions between behaviors. 31, 32, 33, 34. Other research methods. Edit. Computational models, using a computer to formulate real-world problems to develop solutions. 35. Although this method is often focused in computer science, it has begun to move towards other areas of study. For example, psychology is one of these areas. Computational models allow researchers in psychology to enhance their understanding of the functions and developments in nervous systems. Examples of methods include the modeling of neurons, networks and brain systems and theoretical analysis. 36. Computational methods have a wide variety of roles including clarifying experiments, hypothesis testing and generating new insights. These techniques play an increasing role in the advancement of biological psychology. 37. Limitations and advantages. Edit. Different manipulations have advantages and limitations. Neural tissue destroyed as a primary consequence of a surgery, electric shock or neurotoxin can confound the results so that the physical trauma masks changes in the fundamental neurophysiological processes of interest. For example, when using an electrolytic probe to create a purposeful lesion in a distinct region of the rat brain, surrounding tissue can be affected. So, a change in behavior exhibited by the experimental group post-surgery is to some degree a result of damage to surrounding neural tissue, rather than by a lesion of a distinct brain region. 38, 39. Most genetic manipulation techniques are also considered permanent. 39. Temporary lesions can be achieved with advanced in genetic manipulations, for example, certain genes can now be switched on and off with diet. 39. Pharmacological manipulations also allow blocking of certain neurotransmitters temporarily as the function returns to its previous state after the drug has been metabolized. 39. Topic areas. Edit. Experimental setup for non-invasive theta-burst stimulation of the human striatum to enhance striatal activity and motor skill learning. In general, behavioral neuroscientists study various neuronal and biological processes underlying behavior, 40, though limited by the need to use non-human animals. As a result, the bulk of literature in behavioral neuroscience deals with experiences and mental processes that are shared across different animal models such as sensation and perception, motivated behavior, hunger, thirst, sex, control of movement, learning and memory, sleep and biological rhythms, emotion. However, with increasing technical sophistication and with the development of more precise non-invasive methods that can be applied to human subjects, behavioral neuroscientists are beginning to contribute to other classical topic areas of psychology, philosophy, and linguistics, such as language, reasoning and decision-making, consciousness. Behavioral neuroscience has also had a strong history of contributing to the understanding of medical disorders, including those that fall under the purview of clinical psychology and biological psychopathology, also known as abnormal psychology. Although animal models do not exist for all mental illnesses, the field has contributed important therapeutic data on a variety of conditions, including Parkinson's disease, a degenerative disorder of the central nervous system that often impairs motor skills and speech. Huntington's disease, a rare inherited neurological disorder whose most obvious symptoms are abnormal body movements and a lack of coordination. It also affects a number of mental abilities and some aspects of personality. Alzheimer's disease, a neurodegenerative disease that, in its most common form, is found in people over the age of 65 and is characterized by progressive cognitive deterioration, together with declining activities of daily living and by neuropsychiatric symptoms or behavioral changes. Clinical depression, a common psychiatric disorder, characterized by a persistent lowering of mood, loss of interest in usual activities and diminished ability to experience pleasure. Schizophrenia, a psychiatric diagnosis that describes a mental illness characterized by impairments in the perception or expression of reality, most commonly manifesting as auditory hallucinations, paranoid or bizarre delusions or disorganized speech and thinking in the context of significant social or occupational dysfunction. Autism, a brain development disorder that impairs social interaction and communication, and causes restricted and repetitive behavior, all starting before a child is 3 years old. Anxiety, a physiological state characterized by cognitive, somatic, emotional, and behavioral components. These components combine to create the feelings that are typically recognized as fear, apprehension, or worry. Drug abuse, including alcoholism. Research on topic areas. Edit. Cognition. Edit. High-resolution fMRI of the human brain. Behavioral neuroscientists conduct research on various cognitive processes through the use of different neuroimaging techniques. Examples of cognitive research might involve examination of neural correlates during emotional information processing, such as one study that analyzed the relationship between subjective affect and neural reactivity during sustained processing of positive, savoring, and negative, rumination, emotion. The aim of the study was to analyze whether repetitive positive thinking, seen as being beneficial, and repetitive negative thinking, significantly related to worse mental health, would have similar underlying neural mechanisms. Researchers found that the individuals who had a more intense positive effect during savoring, were also the same individuals who had a more intense negative effect during rumination. fMRI data showed similar activations in brain regions during both rumination and savoring, suggesting shared neural mechanisms between the two types of repetitive thinking. The results of the study suggest there are similarities, both subjectively and mechanistically, with repetitive thinking about positive and negative emotions. This overall suggests shared neural mechanisms by which sustained emotional processing of both positive and negative information occurs. 41. Awards. Edit. Nobel laureates. The following Nobel Prize winners could reasonably be considered behavioral neuroscientists or neurobiologists. By whom? This list omits winners who were almost exclusively neuroanatomists or neurophysiologists, i.e., those that did not measure behavioral or neurobiological variables. Charles Sherrington, 1932. Edgar Adrian, 1932. Walter Hess, 1949. Igas Moniz, 1949. Georg von Becchese, 1961. George Wald, 1967. Ragnar Granit, 1967. Konrad Lorenz, 1973. Nikotin Bergern, 1973. Karl von Frisch, 1973. Roger W. Sperry, 1981. David H. Hubel, 1981. Torsten N. Wiesel, 1981. Eric Arkandel, 2000. Arvid Carlson, 2000. Richard Axel, 2004. Linda B. Buck, 2004. John O'Keefe, 2014. Edvar Moser, 2014. Maybrit Moser, 2014. Cave Lee Prize in Neuroscience. Anne Grabiel, 1942. Cornelia Bergman, 1961. Winfried Denk, 1957. See also. Edit. Affective neuroscience. Behavioral genetics. Biological psychiatry. Biology. Biosemiotics. Cognitive neuroscience. Developmental psychobiology. Epigenetics in psychology. Evolutionary psychology. Models of abnormality. Neurobiology. Neuroethology. Outline of brain mapping. Outline of psychology. Outline of the human brain. Physical anthropology. Psychoneuroimmunology. Psychopharmacology. Psychophysics. Social neuroscience. Neuroscience. References. Edit. Breedlove, Watson, Rosenzweig, Biological Psychology, An Introduction to Behavioral and Cognitive Neuroscience, 6/E, ISBN 978-087893-705-9, p2. Psychobiology, Merriam-Webster's Online Dictionary. Thompson, R.F. 1 January, 2001, Behavioral Neuroscience, in Smolser, Neil J. Baltz, Paul B. eds, International Encyclopedia of the Social and Behavioral Sciences, Oxford, Pergamon, pp. 1118-1125, do 10.1000-B0-08-04307/7/03405-7, ISBN 978-0-08-04307/6-8, retrieved the 11th of October, 2024. ABCD Carlson, Neil, 2007. Physiology of Behavior, 9th ed. Allin and Bacon. pp. 11-14. ISBN 978-0-205-46724-2. James, William, 1890. The Principles of Psychology, Vol I. New York, Henry Holt and Company, do 10.1037/10538-000. Shepard, Gordon M. 1991. Foundations of the Neuron Doctrine. Oxford University Press. ISBN 0-19-506491-7. AB History of Neuroscience. Columbia University. Retrieved 4 May 2014. AB Dewsbury, Donald, 1991. Psychobiology. American psychologist. 46, 3198205-10.1037-4036x.46.3.198. PMID 2035930. S2 SID 2220544067. S. Mark Breedlove, Mark Rosenzweig and Neil V. Watson, 2007. Biological Psychology, An Introduction to Behavioral and Cognitive Neuroscience 6e. Nauer Associates. ISBN 978-0-87893-705-9. Ju, Hu, 2014. Silencing Synapses with DREADDs. Neuron. 82, 4723725-10.1025.j.neuron.2014.05.002. PMC 4109642. PMID 248533931. Schneider, Embret, Gradin-Eru, Viviana, Zhang, Feng, Diceroth, Carl, 2008. Controlling Neuronal Activity. American Journal of Psychiatry. 165, 562 to 10.1176/appy.argp.2008.080304444. PMID 1845036. Zhang, Feng, Wang, Liping, Brawner, Martin, Leiwald, Chona F. K., Kenneth, Watzke, Natalie, Wood, Philip G. Bamberg, Ernst, Nagel, Jorg, Gottschalk, Alexander, Diceroth, Carl, 2007. Multimodal Fast Optical Interrogation of Neural Circuitry. Nature. 446, 7136-6333639. Bibcode 2007 Nature.446633Z. Do 10.1038/Nature 05744. PMID 174100168. S2 SID 4415339. Chow, B. Wyatt al. High Performance Genetically Targetable Optical Neural Silencing by Light-Driven Proton Pumps. Nature. Vol 463. 7 January 2010. Gradin-Eru, Viviana, Thompson, Kimberly R. Diceroth, Carl, 2008. ENFA, a natrinom as halorhodopsin enhanced for optogenetic applications. Brain Cell Biology. 36, 1412939 to 10.1068-008-9027-6. PMC 2588488. PMID 1867756. Kim, Jean-Sok J. Dekala, Joseph P. Landera Fernandez, Jesus, Fanselo, Michael S. 1991. N-methyldiaspartate receptor antagonist APV blocks acquisition but not expression of fear conditioning. Behavioral Neuroscience. 105, 1126133 to 10.1035-0735-7044.105.1.126. PMID 1673846. Ferguson, Susan, 2012. Grateful DREADDs, engineered receptors reveal how neural circuits regulate behavior. Neuropsychopharmacology. 37, 1296297 to 10.1038/NPP.2011.179. PMC 3238068. PMID 221578661. Carrot Zhang, Feng, Wang, Li Ping, Boyden, Edward S. Diceroth, Carl, 2006. Channel Rhodopsin 2 and optical control of excitable cells. Nature Methods. 3. 10.785792 to 10.1038/Meth936. PMID 169908110. S2 SID 150968826. Carrot Grady Nehru, Viviana, Zhang, Feng, Ramakrishnan, Charu, Mattis, Joanna, Prakash, Rohit, Diester, Ilka, Goshen, Inbal, Thompson, Kimberly R. Diceroth, Carl, 2010. Molecular and Cellular Approaches for Diversifying and Extending Optogenetics. Cell 141, 1154165 to 10.1016/J.cell.2010.02.037. PMC 4160532. PMID 203033157. Carrot Ebner, Timothy J. Chen, Gang, 1995. Use of voltage-sensitive dyes and optical recordings in the central nervous system. Progress in Neurobiology. 46, 5463506 to 10.1016/0301-0082, 95, 00010S. PMID 8532849. S2 SID 171879595. Carrot Ziegel, Mika S. Izakov, Ayad Y. 1997. A genetically encoded optical probe of membrane voltage. Neuron. 19, 473571 to 10.1016/S0896-6273, 00, 80955-1. PMID 9354320. S2 SID 114479882. Carrot Donovan, Michael J. Ho, Stephen, Sholomenko, Gerald, U.E., Wayne, 1993. Real-time imaging of neurons retrogradely and anterogradely labeled with calcium-sensitive dyes. Journal of Neuroscience Methods. 46, 291-106 to 10.1016/0165-0270, 93, 90145H. PMID 8474261. S2 SID 1337378. Carrot Heim, Nicola, Griesbeck, Oliver, 2004. Genetically encoded indicators of cellular calcium dynamics based on troponin C and green fluorescent protein. Journal of Biological Chemistry. 279, 141428014286 to 10.1014/JBC.M3127512000. PMID 1474241. Carrot Mizenbach, Dro, De Angelis, D. Noah. Rothman, James E. 1998. Visualizing secretion and synaptic transmission with pH-sensitive green fluorescent proteins. Nature. 394, 6689 192195. Bibcode 1998 Nature.394192M. Do 10.1038/28190. PMID 9671304. S2 SID 43200849. Von Heimendel, Moritz, Itzkoff, Pavel M. Arabzade, Essen, Diamond, Matthew E. 2007. Neuronal activity in rat barrel cortex underlying texture discrimination. PLOS Biology. 5. 11E305 to 10.1371 journal.bio.0050305. PMC 2071938. PMID 18001152. Ocampo, T. Knight, K. Dunleavy, R. Shah, S.N. 2015. Techniques, Benefits, and Challenges of PET MR. Radiologic Technology. 86, 43934112, Quiz 4136. PMID 258354005. Saini E. S., and Chambers, J. A. 2013. EEG Signal Processing. John Wiley and Sons. Karashkik, Pierre, Rupp, KTL. Dickinson, Ivan S. Walling Bell, Sarah, Sanders, Elischa, Azim, Iman, Brunton, Bingney W. Tuthiel, John C. 28 September 2021. Anipose, a toolkit for robust markerless 3D pose estimation. Cell Reports. 36, 13 109,730 to 10.10.10.1.cellrip.2021.109730. ISSN 2211 to 1247. PMC 8498918. PMID 345921148. Mathis, Alexander, Mamidana, Pranath, Curie, Kevin M. Abe, Tigger, Murthy, Venkatesh N. Mathis, Mackenzie Weigant, Bethch, Mavias, September 2018. Deep Lab Cut, Markerless Pose Estimation of User-Defined Body Parts with Deep Learning. Nature Neuroscience. 21, 9 1281 1289 to 10.1038forward/S41593-018-0209Y. ISSN 1546 to 1726. PMID 3012740. S2 SID 52807326. Saida, Atika, Zhong, Lin, Tung, Rene, Long, Will, Pashi Taru, Marius, Stringer, Carson, 4 November 2022. FaceMap, a framework for modeling neural activity based on orofacial tracking. pp. 2022.11.03.51521 to 10.11.03.5155121. S2 SID 2533713320. Marshall, Jesse D. Alderondo, Diego E. Dunn, Timothy W. Wang, William L. Berman, Gordon J. Olvachki, Bentz P. 3 February 2021. Continuous whole-body 3D kinematic recordings across the rodent behavioral repertoire. Neuron. 109. 342437.E8 to 10.1011.j.neuron.2020.11.016. ISSN 0896-6273. PMC 7864892. PMID 333404448. Berman, Gordon J. Choi, Daniel M. By Alec, William, Shavitz, Joshua W. 6 October 2014. Mapping the stereotyped behavior of freely moving fruit flies. Journal of the Royal Society Interface. 11. 9920140672 do 10.1000.asif.2014.0672. ISSN 1742-5689. PMC 42333753. PMID 25142523. Tillman, Jens F. HSU, Alexander I. Schwartz, Martin K. Yetri, Erica. April 2024. ACEOID, an active learning platform for expert-guided, data-efficient discovery of behavior. Nature Methods. 21. 470371 do 10.1000.38/S41592-024-02200-1. ISSN 1548-7105. PMID 38383746. Goodwin, Nastasia L. Chung, Jia J. Huang, Sophia, Pitts, Kayla, Bloom, Liana, Islam, Azia, Chang, Yaji Y. Seleni, Eric R. Tong, Xiaoyu, Newman, Emily L. Mitchk, Klaus, Wright, Hayden R. McLaughlin, Ryan J. Norphil, Zane C. Eschel, Ni, the 22nd of May 2024. Simple Behavioral Analysis, SimBA, as a platform for explainable machine learning in behavioral neuroscience. Nature Neuroscience. 27. 7 1411 1424 do 10.1000.38/S41593-024-01649-9. ISSN 1546-1726. PMC 11268425. PMID 38778146. Wayne Reeb, Caleb, Pearl, Jonah, Lynn, Sherry, Osman, Mohammed Abdul Munyam, Zhang, Libby, Anna Pragada, Siddharth, Kunlin, Eli, Hoffman, Red, Makowska, Sophia. The 17th of March 2023. Keypoint Mosic, Parsing Behavior by Linking Point Tracking to Pose Dynamics. BioExiv, the preprint server for biology. Do 10.1011/2023.03.16.532307. PMC 10055085. PMID 36993589. Tago, UO, N/D. Computational Modeling. Online, available at http://www.atago.ac.nz//atago032670.pdf. Churchland, P.S., and Sejnowski, T.J. 2016. The Computational Brain. MIT Press. Broadland, G. Wayne, 2015. How computational models can help unlock biological systems. Seminars in Cell and Developmental Biology. 4748, 6273. Do 10.1016/j.sempt.2015.07.001. PMID 26165820. Kirby, Elizabeth D. Jensen, Kelly, Goosens, Kia. Korfer, Daniela, the 19th of July 2012. Stereotaxic surgery for excitotoxic lesion of specific brain areas in the adult rat. Journal of Visualized Experiments, 65 4079 to 10.3791/4079. PMC 3476400. PMID 228475556. ABCD Abel, Ted, Lattel, K. Matthew, 2001. Molecular Mechanisms of Memory Acquisition, Consolidation and Retrieval. Current Opinion in Neurobiology. 11. 218187 to 10.1016/S0959-4388, 00000194X. PMID 11301237. S2 SID 237664773. Thompson, R.F. 1 January, 2001, Behavioral Neuroscience, in Smolser, Neil J. Baltz, Paul B. eds, International Encyclopedia of the Social and Behavioral Sciences, Oxford, Pergamon, pp. 1118-1125, to 10.1016/B0-08-04376-7/03405-7, ISBN 978-0-08-04376-8, retrieved the 11th of October, 2024. Brandeis, Benjamin O. Siegel, Greg J. Franzen, Peter, Soena, Adrienne, Hasler, Brandt, McMarkin, Donna, Young, Kim, Bice, Daniel J. 1 December, 2023. Subjective and neural reactivity during savoring and rumination. Cognitive, affective, and behavioral neuroscience. 23, 6 1568 1580 to 10.3415-023-01123-2. ISSN 1531-135X. PMC 10684651. PMID 377265588. External links. Edit. Listen to this article, 8 minutes. This audio file was created from a revision of this article dated the 18th of December, 2006, the 18th of December, 2006, and does not reflect subsequent edits. Audio help times more spoken articles. Biological psychology links. Theory of biological psychology, documents number 9 and 10 in English. IBRO, International Brain Research Organization. V. T. E. Neuroscience. Outline. History. Basic Science. Behavioral epigenetics. Behavioral genetics. Brain mapping. Brain reading. Cellular neuroscience. Computational neuroscience. Connectomics. Imaging genetics. Integrative neuroscience. Molecular neuroscience. Neural decoding. Neural engineering. Neuroanatomy. Neurobiology. Neurochemistry. Neuroendocrinology. Neurogenetics. Neuroinformatics. Neurometrics. Neuromorphology. Neurophysics. Neurophysiology. Systems neuroscience. Clinical neuroscience. Behavioral neurology. Clinical neurophysiology. Epileptology. neurocardiology, neuroepidemiology, neurogastroenterology, neuroimmunology, neurointensive care, neurology, neurooncology, neuroophthalmology, neuropathology, neuropharmacology, neuroprosthetics, neuropsychiatry, neuroradiology, neurorehabilitation, neurosurgery, neurotology, neurovirology, nutritional neuroscience, psychiatry, cognitive neuroscience, affective neuroscience, behavioral neuroscience, chronobiology, molecular cellular cognition, motor control, neurolinguistics, neuropsychology, sensory neuroscience, social cognitive neuroscience, interdisciplinary fields, consumer neuroscience, cultural neuroscience, educational neuroscience, evolutionary neuroscience, global neurosurgery, neuroanthropology, neural engineering, neurobiotics, neurocriminology, neuroeconomics, neuroepistemology, neuroaesthetics, neuroethics, neuroethology, neurohistory, neurolaw, neuromarketing, neuromorphic engineering, neurophenomenology, neurophilosophy, neuropolitics, neurorobotics, neurotheology, paleoneurobiology, social neuroscience, concepts, brain-computer interface, development of the nervous system, neural network, artificial, neural network, biological, detection theory, intraoperative neurophysiological monitoring, neurochip, neurodegenerative disease, neurodevelopmental disorder, neurodiversity, neurogenesis, neuroimaging, neuroimmune system, neuromanagement, neuromodulation, neuroplasticity, neurotechnology, neurotoxin, self-awareness, category, commons, v, t, e, psychology, history, philosophy, portal, psychologist, basic, psychology, abnormal, affective neuroscience, affective science, behavioral genetics, behavioral neuroscience, behaviorism, cognitive/cognitivism, cognitive neuroscience, social, comparative, cross-cultural, cultural, developmental, differential, ecological, evolutionary, experimental, gestalt, intelligence, mathematical, moral, neuropsychology, perception, personality, psycholinguistics, psychophysiology, quantitative, social, theoretical, applied, psychology, anomalistic, applied behavior analysis, assessment, clinical, coaching, community, consumer, counseling, critical, educational, ergonomics, feminist, forensic, health, humanistic, industrial and organizational, legal, media, medical, military, music, occupational health, pastoral, political, positive, psychometrics, psychotherapy, religion, school, sport and exercise, suicidology, systems, traffic, methodologies, animal testing, archival research, behavior epigenetics, case study, content analysis, experiments, human subject research, interviews, neuroimaging, observation, psychophysics, qualitative research, quantitative research, self-report inventory, statistical surveys, concepts, behavior, behavioral engineering, behavioral genetics, behavioral neuroscience, cognition, competence, consciousness, consumer behavior, emotions, feelings, human factors and ergonomics, intelligence, mind, psychology of religion, psychometrics, terror management theory, psychologists, Wilhelm Wundt, William James, Ivan Pavlov, Sigmund Freud, Edward Thorndike, Carl Jung, John B. Watson, Clark L. Hull, Kurt Lewin, Jean Piaget, Gordon Allport, J. P. Guilford, Carl Rogers, Eric Erikson, B. F. Skinner, Donald O. Hebb, Ernest Hilgard, Harry Harlow, Raymond Cattell, Abraham Maslow, Neil E. Miller, Jerome Bruner, Donald T. Campbell, Hans Isink, Herbert A. Simon, David McClelland, Leon Festinger, Georgia Miller, Richard Lazarus, Stanley Scudder, Robert Zajanc, Albert Bandura, Roger Brown, Endel Tulving, Lawrence Kohlberg, Noam Chomsky, Ulrich Nieser, Jerome Kagan, Walter Mischel, Elliot Aronson, Daniel Kahneman, Paul Ekman, Michael Posner, Amos Tversky, Bruce McEwen, Larry Squire, Richard E. Nisbet, Martin Seligman, Ed D. Enner, Shelley E. Taylor, John Anderson, Ronald C. Kessler, Joseph E. Ladous, Richard Davidson, Susan Fiske, Roy Baumeister. Lists. Counseling topics. Disciplines. Organizations. Outline. Psychologists. Psychotherapies. Research methods. Schools of thought. Timeline. Topics. Wiktionary definition. Wiktionary category. Wikisource. Wikimedia Commons. Wikiquote. Wikinews. Wikibooks. V. T. E. Social Sciences. Outline. History. Index. Primary. Anthropology. Archaeology. Cultural. Social. Physical. Economics. Microeconomics. Macroeconomics. Econometrics. Mathematical. Geography. Physical. Human. Technical. Integrated. History. Cultural. Auxiliary sciences. Economic. Human. Military. Political. Social. Law. Jurisprudence. Legal history. Legal systems. Public law. Private law. Linguistics. semiotics, political science, international relations, comparative philosophy, public policy, public administration, psychology, abnormal, cognitive, developmental, personality, social, sociology, criminology, demography, internet, rural, urban, interdisciplinary, administration, business, public, anthrozoology, area studies, business studies, cognitive science, communication studies, community studies, criminology, cultural studies, development studies, education, environmental, social science, studies, food studies, gender studies, global studies, historical sociology, history of technology, human ecology, information science, international studies, linguistics, management, media studies, philosophies, science, economics, history, psychology, social science, planning, land use, regional, urban, political ecology, political economy, political sociology, public health, regional science, science and technology studies, science studies, historical, quantum social science, social work, vegan studies, list of social science journals, other categorizations, behavioral sciences, Geisteswissenschaft, human science, humanities, category, commons, society portal, Wikiversity, v. T. E. Evolutionary psychology, history, evolutionary thought, theoretical foundations, adaptationism, cognitive revolution, cognitivism, gene selection theory, modern synthesis, criticism, evolutionary processes, adaptations, altruism, cheating, Hamiltonian spite, reciprocal, Baldwin effect, byproducts, evolutionarily stable strategy, exaptation, fitness, inclusive, kin selection, mismatch, natural selection, parental investment, parent-offspring conflict, sexual selection, costly signaling, male/female intrasexual competition, mate choice, sexual dimorphism, social selection, areas, cognition/emotion, affect, display rules, facial expression, behavioral modernity, cognitive module/modularity of mind, automatic and controlled processes, computational theory of mind, domain generality, domain specificity, dual process theory, cognitive trade-off hypothesis, evolution of the brain, evolution of nervous systems, fight or flight response, arachnophobia, bassophobia, ophidiophobia, folk biology/taxonomy, folk psychology/theory of mind, intelligence, Flynn effect, Wason selection task, motor control / skill, multitasking, sleep, visual perception, color vision, eye, naive physics, culture, aesthetics, literary criticism, musicology, anthropology, biological, crime, language, origin, psychology, speech, morality, moral foundations, religion, origin, universals, development, attachment, bonding, affectional / maternal / paternal bond, caregiver deprivation, childhood attachment, Cinderella effect, cognitive development, education, language acquisition, personality development, socialization, human factors / mental health, cognitive ergonomics, computer-mediated communication, engineering psychology, human-computer interaction, media naturalness theory, neuroergonomics, depression, digital media use and mental health, hyperphobia, imprinted brain hypothesis, mind blindness, psychological effects of internet use, rank theory of depression, schizophrenia, screen time, smartphones and pedestrian safety, social aspects of television, societal impacts of cars, distracted driving, lead crime hypothesis, mobile phones and driving safety, texting while driving, sex, activity, adult attachment, age disparity, arousal, concealed ovulation, Coolidge effect, desire, fantasy, hormonal motivation, jealousy, mate guarding, mating preferences, mating strategies, orientation, ovulatory shift hypothesis, pair bond, physical / sexual attraction, sexuality / male / female, sexy sun hypothesis, Westermarck effect, sex differences, aggression, autism, cognition, crime, division of labor, emotional intelligence, empathizing systemicing theory, gender role, intelligence, memory, mental health, narcissism, neuroscience, schizophrenia, substance abuse, suicide, variability hypothesis, related subjects, academic disciplines, behavioral / evolutionary economics, behavioral epigenetics / genetics, affective / behavioral / cognitive / evolutionary neuroscience, biocultural anthropology, biological psychiatry, cognitive psychology, cognitive science, cross-cultural psychology, ethology, evolutionary biology, evolutionary medicine, functional psychology, neuropsychology, philosophy of mind, population genetics, primatology, sociobiology, research topics, cultural evolution, evolutionary epistemology, great ape language, human-animal communication, missing heritability problem, primate cognition, unit of selection, coevolution, cultural group selection, dual inheritance theory, Fisher's principle, group selection, Hologenome theory. Lamarckism. Population. Punctuated equilibrium. Recent human evolution. Species. Species complex. Transgenerational epigenetic inheritance. Trivers-Willard hypothesis. Theoretical positions. Cultural selection theory. Determinism/indeterminism. Biological determinism. Connectionism. Cultural determinism. Environmental determinism. Nature versus nurture. Psychological nativism. Social constructionism. Social determinism. Standard social science model. Functionalism. Memetics. Multilineal evolution. Neo-Darwinism. Neo-evolutionism. Socio-cultural evolution. Unilineal evolution. Evolutionary psychologists. Evolutionary psychology. Psychology portal. Evolutionary biology portal. Authority control databases, national. Germany. United States. France. BNF data. Czech Republic. Israel. Retrieved from https://en.wikipedia.org/w/index.php title =behavioral_neuroscience olded =12585288096. Categories. Behavioral neuroscience. Neuropsychology. Psychoneuroimmunology. Hidden categories. CS1, long volume value. Articles with short description. Short description is different from Wikidata. Articles with excerpts. Articles with specifically marked weasel-worded phrases from October 2017. Articles with H-audio microformats. Spoken articles. This page was last edited on the 20th of November, 2024, at 6:02 UTC. Text is available under the Creative Commons Attribution Share Alike 4.0 license. Additional terms may apply. By using this site, you agree to the terms of use and privacy policy. Wikipedia registered trademark symbol is a registered trademark of the Wikimedia Foundation, Inc., a non-profit organization. Privacy policy. About Wikipedia. Disclaimers. Contact Wikipedia. Code of conduct. Developers. Statistics. Cookie statement. Mobile view.